Okay, so my camera died, and then I charged it, and I came back and filmed the rest of the video, and realized I filmed it with the microphone off. So there's all video of me, like, with my animation and my voice, and you can't hear a word I'm saying. So let's finish this. Hi, my loves. This is Ro. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, I need a sip of water before I start this, because we're going to get real for a minute. Okay, so I was asked to make this video a while ago, probably like 5 or 6 months ago, and I never got around to it, even though it was one of my closest friends that asked me to make this video, and then we were going to go and talk about it together. But our lives just got crazy. I started getting tons of questions and answers. She had to do her own thing with her own stuff, with her own relationship and her own job and everything like that. But we wanted to talk to you guys about, as prison wives, being confronted and being asked to do media. All over the internet, you will see prison wife, prison family member support groups. And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of Facebook groups, Instagram profiles, you name it, they're out there, which is awesome. When I first started doing this, the reason I started my channel, because there were no prison channels out there that I was aware of. There were no support groups. There was one. I researched, there was one, and it was very much living to the stigma that I tried to break and live against. So I didn't really love it. And there were 1 or 2 other Facebook groups. So there was one website, one actual organization, and then there were a couple of Facebook groups, and they all kind of just glorified street life and lived to the stigma. And I knew that we could do better than that. But now it's, you name it, like there's all different kinds of little niches. There's California prison wives. And these aren't groups that I'm part of or know of, I'm just saying. There's, fit prison wives. There's strong prison wives. That's the one you need to join. But the point is, they're out there. They're all over the place. And what comes along with large numbers of people in social media atmospheres and groups is that you will start becoming approached by media, by authors, by people who want to write articles, by people who want to do documentaries or TV shows or movies about us, about our lifestyle. This started for me back in 2011, from basically the minute I started and had over 500 members, the questions, the emails were pouring in. So I wanted to talk through you guys with this because, one, I wanted to kind of make it a little bit of a story time and tell you about my experience, but two, kind of a warning for you guys to heed as to which ones to go after, which ones to do, what my suggestion and advice would be from doing this for so many years, the ones that I've done, the ones that I've helped, the ones that I refuse to do or even associate with. So first of all, I think a lot of the people that come after I don't mean come after in a come after I'm going to fight you way. I just mean that are interested in doing stories about us or doing shows about us. They're doing it for readers. They're doing it for rankings. They're doing it for ratings. They're doing it for views. So you just have to remember that when you go into it. The media needs a story. They need a villain. They need a victim. They need a hero, and they need drama, and they need, think about the reality shows that are most popular are usually the ones with the most drama. So that's something that you have to think about. Do you want your relationship on blast? Do you want to be exploited? Do you want to be kind of pigeonholed into a little box and get your relationship ripped apart and maybe edited on a cutting room floor, and it's not exactly what happened? So the first time that I was contacted by a TV producer, it was to do some sort of a docu-series or something about prison wives. And I honestly do not remember the network, and I don't remember exactly the way that the show was going to go. I don't remember. There were a few. There was one that was a docu-series. There was one that was a talk show. Oh my gosh, I'll get into that in a minute. But this first one was for a network on TV. And so Adam actually, he was kind of pushing me to do it. Get my story out there, get your face out there. You love to be in front of the camera. You're beautiful, so supportive of a husband. Plus it's a way for you to transition out of the job that you're in right now that you don't love into the side project, your passion project that you love and feel called and born to do. So it'll kind of afford you a way to do that. So he contacted, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put my family out there. I'm not going to put our relationship out there to be pulled apart. I'm not going to, this was back when my mother was alive, obviously, because she only passed a couple of weeks ago, but I'm not going to do that to my mom, who is always so worried about what people will say and what's your grandfather going to say, and I can't deal with people asking me questions, that kind of a thing. So that's always why I said no. But then he said, well, let me go see what your options are. And he reached out to a friend that is out in Hollywood that runs with that circle, and he asked him straight up, would you advise her to do this? And his friend said, not really. He goes, because if you think about it, that's 15 minutes of fame. Really, what are you going to get out of it? You're not going to make a ton of money. You're not going to become famous or anything like that. And she just runs the risk of the hate, right? Or being, I don't want to say typecasted because I'm not an actor, but being known as a prison wife, right? So think about it like this, you guys. And plus, you have to get into that contract and make sure that they can edit it any way that they want. So you have to make sure that you write into that contract, if you're going to do it, that you have final say before the final product comes out. But here's the thing, most of the time they're not going to do that. They're not going to want to work with you. They just want you to be the talent, and then they want to move on and they want to edit it and cut it. And this isn't bad. And I'm not saying that I would never do any shows, and I'm not saying I would never do media, because I have. But what I'm saying is, I want to pass this along as advice to you, because I've seen so many people slide into people's inboxes, slide into people's DMs that, one, they're bogus, two, they're trying to just exploit you, and you're like, oh my God, I get to be on TV, oh my God, 15 minutes of fame, oh my God, everybody gets to hear me sing from the rooftops that I'm in love with my man, because I can't be out here walking down the street holding his hand, so I want to show everybody our relationship. Don't fall for every single one of them, you guys. I also spoke to somebody, one of the first times that I was approached by, this one was a talk show, and it was me and the girl Annette that I built Strong Prison Wives with back when we first started. And so we got this other guy who ran a very large prison pen pal organization, who kind of we became friendly with online. We got him on the phone, and he goes, you guys, you have to be careful, because you don't know who that really is sliding up in your emails, sliding up in your DMs, although I don't think there were DMs at that point, it was so long ago. But he goes, that could be anybody. That could be somebody who's trying to get information about you. That could be somebody who's trying to get information about your husband. That could be somebody who is inside with your husband, a CO. It could be anybody, so be careful. That's why a lot of times, across the board, no matter what, Strong Prison Wives and Families, my admin and volunteers will ban and block those people from our pages, because we just don't have enough time to vet every single one of them. Again, not saying that they're not bad, and I've been affiliated with networks that, like the OWN network or A&E, a couple of episodes where I helped them. I didn't want to do the show myself, but I helped them recruit and cast for their shows, because they're shows that I feel I've watched before. I watched before they approached me. They align with my values. I believe that they're going to portray us in the best light they possibly can, and they're not trying to stigmatize us. They're not trying to make us out to be crazy and quirky, and all 100% the stigma that we're trying to break. So make sure that you're not being exploited when you're asked to do these things. A lot of these people, unfortunately, look at us like we're circus freaks. They look at us like, yes, there are these freak shows that I get to put out there on display, and I get to line my pockets while doing that. Meanwhile, it's your real life, you guys. They forget a lot of times that what is so taboo and so maybe interesting to them and so different is our everyday real life, and our relationships are sacred. Just because they're different and they're not traditional and they're not conventional doesn't mean they're not beautiful. It doesn't mean that we don't need to hold them to a sacred standard that anybody else's out here relationship wouldn't do. They're not allowed to sit there and look at us like we're the circus freaks, and a lot of people will contact us for research studies, which is kind of cool. If the research study, you have to vet it. If the research study is to do things like help end mass incarceration, help get funding for certain things, help people who want to help people in our position with mental health stuff. But if it's just because they want to try to look at us like we're lab rats, no, you guys, no. So I've done articles in the past where outwardly people have said that they're supportive, and even the interview that they do, they're so supportive. And then the article comes out and it's written with all the facts that I shared, but there's this underlying tone that's like, I'm better than them. She's a weirdo. I wouldn't do this. And I'm not saying all of them, but that's where I'm saying, if you're contacted by somebody, they come up in your email or they come up in your DM, do your homework, have very detailed conversations with them, know the network, know the magazine or the newspaper that it's going to be printed in, and just be really, really careful. You don't have to say no to everybody. I'm looking forward to doing more media and press and even maybe possibly TV and movies in the future, but I will vet and be very strategic about the people that I work with, and I will not just sell my soul to the devil or to anybody to be 15 minutes of fame, because I don't know what their values and their visions are, and I don't know if they align with mine. A lot of times also when these people come to us, they act like we should be so grateful to them for shining a light on our lives. You don't owe them anything, and you don't need to be overly grateful to them for your 15 minutes, because you're kind of helping them out. This is their project, and they need people to fit those roles, to fill those roles, to provide that information for them. And I'm not saying that it needs to be combative, you versus me, but sometimes when I've been in communications with these people, the conversation kind of turns into this whole, well, you owe me because I'm going to put your story out there, where I don't owe you anything. We're on an even playing field. You're not better than me, and I am not worse than you, and I'm not better than you, and you're not worse than me because my husband is in prison. It doesn't make you better than me. We are both equals. We're equals, we're peers, and maybe we can choose to step into a business-like relationship together, but we're not going to play the game of you owe me because I'm putting your story out there. No, that's not cool, you guys. Okay, so my camera died, and then I charged it, and I came back and filmed the rest of the video and realized I filmed it with the microphone off. So there's all video of me like with my animation and my voice, and you can't hear a word I'm saying. So let's finish this. It's not going to be that much longer, but it gave me an opportunity to think about what I wanted to come back and say, and I really want to make this point and drive it home. This is in no way, shape, or form against anybody that did decide to do any of these shows, anybody that in the future will decide to do these shows, any producers, any authors, any media out there at all. I respect and I love you guys, and I'm telling you right now, this is not just it for me. Adam and I will be doing YouTube together. This is like chapter 1 of this channel. I cannot wait for him to come home and for you guys to meet him on camera, not just a big head or fat head socks or his voice on audio. We plan to be doing this for you guys because we have a story. He has 20 years worth of stories. We have 20 years worth of inside-outside relationship stories that we plan to share with you guys because you guys need to hear it and learn from it. But we plan to do more in the future, whether that be TV, whether that be movies, whether that be documentaries, you name it, whether that be speaking to audiences or whatever it is. So I just want to make it very clear that that is in my plans for my future as well. I am not telling you guys not to do it. I have utmost respect for all these people. What I'm telling you to do is to make sure that your vision and your values and your morals align with the people who you choose to work with. If they're reaching out to you and they're asking you to especially showcase your life on TV, then you really need to make sure that they're aligned with your authentic self and you're not just selling your soul to the devil, for lack of a better phrase, because you're looking for 15 minutes of fame. There are other ways to get your name out there. There's other ways to get your story out there. There's other ways to make a couple of dollars. There's other ways to get eyes on your case. I could have done so many prime time there's one that sticks out in my head, and I said I would tell you the show later, and I forgot when the camera died. I was approached by a primetime talk show, 1, 2, 3 actually, but the first one that I was approached by, they wanted me to do it, but they wanted me to do it in a way where I confronted my family members who weren't 100% supportive of my relationship, and I basically told them nicely to go scratch, because I am not putting, my family is my number one value, and I will never put my family out there on blast, and I will never put my dirty laundry like that out there. Now, I tell you guys everything. I share the good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing, but I'm not going to go on national TV and embarrass my family like that. As much as they were offering me, as much as it could have gotten Adam's name and his case out there are other ways for me to do it. So I just want to make myself very clear that I am not in any way saying not to do it or putting anybody's baby or project or job down. No, I plan to be doing it myself in the future. I'm just saying to be careful about how you do it. The last point I was trying to make before the camera died, before that I decided to do that little disclaimer, is that no matter how much somebody says that they're one of us and they understand, if they're coming in as somebody who's doing an article or writing a book or doing a show as a producer, if they're not invested in a prison relationship themselves, then they don't understand. And there will always be that kind of them versus me, us versus them mentality. And in most of the cases that at least people I've worked with, it's more in the back of the mind, subconscious type of thing. But I love you and I want to help you, but I'm not one of you. I'm better than you. I will never be one of you because I'm better than you. I love you, but I'm not like that. I'm not like you. I have my relationship out here. I'm living my life. And again, this isn't against anybody specifically. It's just, I have never found anybody that I've worked with. I'm telling you, the articles, the one author I'm thinking about was great, and she tried her best, but there was such an undertone of looking down her nose at not only me, but other people, other people in my position, that I kind of regretted doing that article. Live and learn. I don't have any regrets about it because I had the experience that now I can pass along and share with you guys. But just know that you should have the final say. You should get things in writing and on contract, and make sure that if you're choosing to work with somebody or put your story out there, that it's for all of the right reasons and not the wrong ones, and that you're not getting anybody to manipulate you or trying to get you to do things because they need you. They need your story. They need your persona or whatever it is. And so just make sure you're doing things that are mutually beneficial for both of you. That's it, you guys. Keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey, because you're one day closer to it all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart to yours. I will see you beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the next one, but in the meantime, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss a video. And if you want, ding that little notification bell so you either get an email or a push notification every single time I post a new video, because I have people that are so adorable fighting over first comment now, which I'm like, super fans. I got me some super fans. And also make sure that you just like this video, because this way YouTube knows to show my content to the people that need it the most, because you guys, I'm sure, can recall the day that you had to do this all by yourself, and it was the most alone, grueling, torture feeling that you had to do this without anybody else, and nobody else understood, and you felt so alone and ostracized. So you found me, right? And now we're all here as this little family, and we're helping each other get through this awful time and put it behind us. Make sure that you give this video a like so other people can do the same thing. So this video is recommended to those people who are feeling alone on their journey. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Comment if you have any suggestions or questions or any comments or content you want me to make in future videos, or if you feel too shy to do that or you don't want your name out there, just reach out to strongprisonwives@gmail.com. I'm here for you. I want to make videos that you guys want to see. I love, love, love you. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.